Hi, my name is Emily Dingle, and I am presenting to you about abuse in the emergency department and its impacts. Some objectives by the end of this presentation that you will be able to do are you'll be able to identify 3 ways the ED abuse affects nursing practice and describe 3 ways the ED abuse has negatively impacted healthcare as a whole. So first of all, what is abuse of the emergency department? Abuse of the emergency department is when somebody presents to the emergency department when they could have gone to their family care doctor or an urgent care or just stayed home and used their own measures to control the symptoms of whatever illness that they have. Not everything requires an emergency visit because it's not an emergency. Just a little statistics to think about. 13 to 20% to 27% of every emergency department visit in the United States could have been taken care of at an urgent care or a family care provider. That equals $4.4 billion spent on healthcare that is wasted at an emergency department when it could have been at an urgent care or a family care practice or just not going at all and just managing symptoms at home. This is the difference between an emergency room visit cost and an urgent care cost. As you can see, that is hundreds of dollars of a difference. Just by using an urgent care versus an emergency department, insurances and people that pay out of pocket and any kind of Medicaid that's used, money could be saved by using resources wisely. Some influences on nursing practice. By overusing and misusing emergency departments, it decreases efficiency. Nurses have to take care of people that don't necessarily need to be there and people that do need to be there that are critical, that require extra care. Their time is changed to other patients when all their time could be focused on that critical patient instead of focusing on patients that aren't emergent and don't really need to be in the ER. It decreases staff satisfaction because it increases burnout. Nurses don't want to be wasting their time and feeling like they can't give that critical patient all the time and care that they need. It increases crowding in the ER. Triage nurses are overwhelmed with the amount of people that line up at the door that need to be triaged. And it desensitizes staff, whether it's nurses, doctors, PAs, NPs, or techs and aides in the ER. Every time someone comes in for something and it's proven that it's not really an emergency, then the next person that comes in for the similar chief complaint, they're automatically going to think that maybe they're not important or maybe they're faking it. The impact on healthcare of abuse of the emergency department. It increases costs. We talked a little bit about that when we compared urgent care visit versus an emergency care visit bill. So it just increases the cost of healthcare. People are paying for resources that weren't really needed. It decreases the quality of care. Like I said, nurses are having to separate and divide their time for patients that don't really need to be seen in the ER. It overloads hospital resources. These patients are coming in, they're getting fluids, they're getting meds, they're taking time up from people who really need to be seen and who really need those resources, whether it's time or if it's actual physical resources. It also lowers the census at family practices as well as urgent cares. If people automatically go to the ER because it's convenient, the family practices aren't seeing the patients that they should be seeing. Their census is low because everyone's going to the ER. Impacts on society. Again, it increases costs. That is a main one that kind of goes in any kind of category, that cost is increased. It even decreases patient satisfaction. The patients that truly need to be seen aren't getting the quality of care that they deserve because the other staff members have to divide their time up. The wait times are longer because of all the extra patients that don't need to be there. care is fragmented. There is no continuity of care if you just go to the ER every single time something needs to be done. At a family care provider, they know you, they know what they did the previous visit or 2 visits ago. They know what the next step is. They know what already was done and what needs to be done when it's not an emergency, as well as care is being procrastinated as a whole. If someone thinks that, oh, well, if it gets bad, I'll just go to the ER. I don't have time to make an appointment. I don't want to call. Care altogether gets procrastinated, and that allows for the severity to increase when nothing is taken care of. So basically, abuse of the emergency department causes an impact for society, for healthcare, and for nursing in general.